What do you do when you're asked to step up and coach a teammate at a competition because your coach is coaching someone on another mat? And what if, dun, 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 you're only a white belt?
Oh, no.
Welcome to Beauty and the Gi, the podcast about Jiu Jitsu and so much more. I'm Jen Eads, a 4-stripe blue belt full of curiosity and questions and a general sense of angst.
Like a teenager.
Right. Exactly.
I'm AJ Klingerman, a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt, obsessed with Jiu Jitsu.
This is such a timely topic, I think, because we're kind of in tournament season.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we've had people compete like the end of January, 2 weekends in February. We already have a couple weekends in March booked, 3 weekends in March. It's tournament season.
It is. Make sure you're listening at the end. If you're a returning podcast listener, maybe you're catching up. We've added a new segment where we talk about an IBJJF rule. And if you're brand new to the show, welcome. And you didn't even know that magical tidbit was waiting for you. So let's get into it. How can we non-coaches support our teammates when our coach is busy coaching someone on another mat, or maybe they couldn't be there that day?
Yeah. You know, like for us, if there's a competition we can't be at, like I will still announce, hey, this tournament's coming up, but just so you know, I can't be there. I'll be at somewhere else in Florida. I don't know. That just sounded nice.
It did.
And so then I'm like, if you guys are going, talk amongst yourselves, take a teammate with you if you can, or exactly. Sometimes I'm coaching on another mat and they need a coach, particularly at like a Fuji or something where there's 12 mats going and we have 6 or 7 coaches there, but we're on like 10 of the mats. So somebody has to step up and help, right?
Yes. And I can't clone you yet. And there's no video AI. Please assume the role of my coach.
Just be a really loud
right
speaker
and
there.
Voice clone her.
So, but there are still things we can do. Even if you don't know anything about jiu-jitsu, there are still things that people can help you do on the sidelines, in your corner, so to speak. One, even just holding your things, right? Like you feel discombobulated, right? Yeah. Can you hold my bag? Can you like hand me my mouthpiece and remind me to wear it? You know, like just little stuff like that. Even that can be such a relief.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm scattered. I would just leave stuff everywhere and then I'm losing my mouth guard and, you know, everything. My wallet.
Exactly. People leave their IDs behind constantly at a federation tournament.
Yeah.
You can also yell time. You know, it's really helpful to know, you know, plenty of time left. Like if you're down on points or something, but it's like plenty of time left. We still have 3 minutes. We still have 4 minutes, anything like that kind of can keep you going a little bit. Like, okay, I've got plenty of time to get out of this, score some points of my own, something like that. Or being able to say, you know, like, all right, 2 minutes left, or, you know, we're in short time. My asterisk to this.
A little caveat.
And this goes for people who actually coached. Do not say there's like 10 seconds left if your person has a submission locked in. This did happen to me once. I think I was choking the girl and, you know, some of my people were like so excited and they're like 10 seconds, 9, 8. They start the countdown. I'm like, she just knows how long she has to hold out for. So don't do that if you can help it. So yeah, I think being able to say time can be huge. Mm-hmm. Another thing is just calling out the points. So at most tournaments now, there are screens where you can see the name and the points. So if your person doesn't know which arm are your points, right? Like they're wearing an armband or whatever to help keep score, the refs are. But if your mom came and she has no idea which arm is yours, she can at least see your name and when the points come on the board.
Yeah.
So being able to say, you know, like you got your takedown, to be able to say, okay, you got your 2. Or if you're trying to pass guard and, you know, like you're struggling to get all the way past whatever, and you finally clear the knee and you're waiting for your points, it's good to have somebody in your corner to be like, okay, you've got your 3. So
Yeah.
those are some of the major things. Also videotaping.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, am I old? Also recording.
I'm going to get my camcorder and bring
out the
it
camcorder.
to yeah.
The one you had to put on your shoulder.
Yes.
Like video. Even if it's just for you. But hopefully you can go back afterwards and watch it with your coach and kind of go through the things that you need to work on. No matter whether you win or lose, there are things that you'll need to work on. That's one of the beauties of competing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think videoing is also good. Through the end, I can't stand when people miss the hand raise, especially if I win.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that's the good stuff. I even want like the hug afterwards. Give me all of it. I want the camaraderie. I want everything.
Somebody did film my the last time I competed ages ago, and they managed to get the eye roll.
See, that's gold. That's the kind of stuff you want, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, my hand was not raised, but you can see my eye roll.
Oh, Jen.
We still have some work to do.
We are getting there, though.
In progress.
I do think we are progressing.
Yes, that's the goal.
That's the goal. Are there any other things you can think of that you would feel comfortable if you had to step up and coach somebody at a tournament? Now, you're a 4-stripe blue belt.
But I still do not have any comfort level at all.
But, most people at a 4-stripe blue belt are
Yes.
going to have that comfort level.
I'm fortunate enough that I've heard this and been reminded enough just in class as, we are preparing for tournament season to know those things. So the time, and I think just being able to hear your teammate's voice, like that there's somebody cheering for you,
Yep.
I think that's huge. Just that alone is huge.
I think so, too. I think it can really kind of help you keep going.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's always a good reminder that, even if you are new to jiu-jitsu, there's still something you can do to be a part of the team and support your teammates.
Yeah. Also, I do this as a coach, and so this is something that maybe other people can do, even like at a white belt or something. But like once they're on the mat, I'll just say, Jen, can you hear me? And I just want a little nod. I want that moment where you're like, okay, I'm clocked into that voice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to do that. And sometimes if I'm like coaching and they're not doing what I'm saying at all, I'll do it again. Like, okay, Jen, can you hear me right now? And then I get a little nod. I'm like, okay, then I need you to do this.
If it's ever me competing again, I want to hear, Papa, can you hear me?
Okay.
I don't have to be Big Papa, just Papa.
All right. Okay.
Some of our listeners are totally going to get that, and some of them are going to be like, what are they talking about?
Someone's going to have to remind me to do that. But I will absolutely do that. I have definitely sang to people in the past when they're competing.
That'll get my attention.
Yeah. People need different things. A good coach is willing to give you those things.
That is so true. So what are your thoughts on coaching, the competition, somebody that's not on our team when we're at a tournament?
Yeah. I mean, we're all role models. So
yeah,
we are big on, not my competition kind of thing. Like, even if we compete against each other. Mm-hmm. So a good example of this, Elena Reeves ran a women's invitational last weekend at Vital Combat. So that's her gym. It was a women's invitational, white through brown belts competing.
That's awesome.
It was really cool. It was such a cool event. We had such a great time. So we had 3 women from our gym and 1 stepchild. She just trains with us a lot, but isn't under our flag necessarily. But like there was a girl there who did not have a coach at all, right?
Oh, wow.
Like no one from her team came. She drove by herself. She is a role model. And I was like, if we're not coaching at the, time you go, we'll absolutely coach you. And there were times when she fought our girls. So I would be like, okay, I'm going to coach our girl, whoever it was at that point, and I would just be like, hey, Amanda, will you coach Crystal? Or, Rissa, you got Crystal, I have whoever. We just kept making sure she had a coach the whole time, even when it was against one of our girls.
Yeah. I love that.
I do too. I think there's a lot of gyms that might feel offended by that. That might be hurt by the fact that someone on their team is coaching against them.
Yeah.
But I think that we have been raised for lacking. We've come up with, we're all role models. I'm going to listen to my coach. You can listen to whoever's coaching you. We're all friends at the end.
Especially a tournament like a women's invitational. Mm-hmm. I think 100%.
Yeah. Because
also maybe somebody that is going to have to come by themselves, that's the thing that's going to put them, if they're on the fence, they're like, oh, but I would feel supported.
Yes.
Even if I don't have my coach or my teammate there.
Yep. I know that I'll have people there.
Yeah.
Cheering me on. Yeah. Absolutely. It was really funny. So it's mostly women there, mostly women coaches. There's a couple of guys reffing. There's a couple of guys coaching and a couple spouses and stuff, but primarily it's a room full of women, which did mean there was always a line for the bathroom.
Yes.
But it's probably the second match. And one of the men coaches was screaming, blah, 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 blah. And everybody was like, I don't think that's the vibe here. I think he recognized it because nobody else, if you hear Elena coach, she is so perfect in every way, I'm pretty sure. But she's just I need you to please put your right hand on their pants sleeve. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a slight over-exaggeration, but she is just so sweet and so kind when she's coaching. And I think I try to be that, but sometimes I just am annoying.
Don't ever be kind and gentle.
No,
with me.
Not with you.
No.
Not with you. And not with me, our stepchild. She needs to be yelled at.
Yeah.
Probably Petra, goes back and forth. Petra probably needs a little bit of I need you to do this right now. And very good. That's a good job.
It's all about finding the balance.
Exactly. The whole event was fantastic, but the thought process is, yes, I will absolutely coach you if you don't have a coach. At Indy Open, I have Elizabeth. She's not from our team, but she's come to a lot of our camps, particularly our white belt camps. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I'm competing. If my coach can't be there, will you coach me? And I was like, 100%. I love that. And Rachel's the same way.
Yeah.
At Worlds last year, I think she coached 17 people or something.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for. I want to help you rise, right? That's part of it.
I just want you to know I have almost recovered from the day that you coached against me in class. I'm almost there.
We're about a month in. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, me too.
The first time I had to coach against Mish in a tournament, I thought she was going to cry.
I would. Yeah, I get that.
So sometimes that is the choice that we make, that it's okay, this person will take it a little more personally if she can hear your voice coaching the other person. Mm-hmm. So sometimes that does have to be considered.
So many things. Have you listened to our episodes on the mental side of Jiu Jitsu?
Right.
If you haven't, perhaps you should go back and revisit them.
Always good. If you're competing, I've had a lot of people recently tell me that that's kind of how they got into the podcast, was to listen to the mental stuff going into a competition.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so welcome.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Now you're here for the shenanigans.
Right. Enjoy. You're welcome.
Yes.
Let's talk about coaching our teammates as we're rolling, in class. Because I think there's the great side of being helpful, and then there's your teammate might want to just punch you in the face.
So this is a really tough area, right? Mm-hmm. In general, I think white belts should never be coaching white belts, as a blanket statement. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, there might be moments where after something happens, you could be like, you almost had that. Or I think if you did this, I would have tapped.
Yeah.
Something like that's okay.
I always found that helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Like just a little like, man, I was really close to tapping. Or if you would have just made this adjustment, I think you would have had me.
Yeah.
I like that. Honestly, probably that is true for blue belt too.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Just a little bit of like feedback. Probably, right?
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
obviously blue is very deep waters. So, somebody that just got their blue belt versus somebody that's had their blue belt for years, they might have a little more insight to give you.
Mm-hmm.
Even high ranks are bad about this sometimes. I cannot tell you how often I have seen a higher rank getting handled a little bit, right, by someone younger and stronger and whatever, or not, but you get it.
Yeah.
And they start coaching them so that it's like, oh, well, I helped him get to that.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's ego. And not the kind of ego that we want you to have.
Yeah.
Right? Like we do want you to have some ego, but not like that. So caution of doing that. Be very careful not to coach somebody through that. Now, while I'm rolling, I might give little bits of things, like, why'd you let go of that? You had it, or just little bits like you got to push there. You got to, and I'm not stopping to help them through the move. I'm still rolling. I'm still, defending to an extent or whatever, but I am giving little bits of coaching throughout the round. Yeah. I think that can be helpful, but I'm not doing it from the standpoint of let's stop and let me teach you this move in the middle of the round when we're supposed to be working on rolling and our cardio and our high heart rate exercise, right? Was that helpful?
Yeah. I think one of the things that I try to do is ask them too, is there something specific that you're working on that you do want feedback on?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something that I have found helpful, just even in general, not that I've prepared for a tournament in a while, but just in general. And I think if you're that person that's training for the competition, like you need to play some role in that too, of help that other person help you.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And like that might be, hey, I'm really working on my takedown. So if we get to the ground and there's a moment where we have to move because of other people too close to us, or there's a submission or anything like that, let's start back standing. Yeah. Right? Like that might be a good way to help them work on something. So you can absolutely help them prepare in a million ways without coaching them.
I think just ask them what is most helpful.
Something I would also like to, this is my personal opinion, as they all are.
Yeah, let's just be clear.
I'm not using other people's opinions.
This is not any kind of medical, legal, tax, or any other kind of mental health advice.
Exactly.
It's all our opinions.
I think the week before a tournament, you should not be murdering the competitors.
Why is that, Coach?
I mean, one, we're not trying to make them exhausted coming into the tournament.
Right.
I think that's an easy sell. Mm-hmm. But also, I want them to have belief in their abilities.
Yeah.
I want them to know that they can pull off their moves. And I'm not giving them like false hope or anything. Mm-hmm. I'm just building them up. I'm just, I think that if you're rolling with somebody and they're competing that week, maybe you're going around 50%. Maybe you're, actually working but not murdering them, not making them feel like crap when they leave. That's just my opinion.
Well, and you don't want to break them right before the tournament.
Absolutely.
Their spirit or their body.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't break them spirit or body. I think that's a good way to put it. So I think that that's a good way to help the competitors too. Help build them up mentally going into it.
Mm-hmm. Another good way to prepare for tournaments is look at the rule book. Watch the videos on the IBJJF YouTube channel.
Most tournaments are loosely based on IBJJF rules. Okay, that's kind of the standard. So check out that and then see how the tournament differs. I think that's a good...
Yeah, know the rules before you get on the mat.
Yes.
Or before you step up to help coach somebody.
Yeah. At the Jiu Jitsu tournament a few weeks ago, one of the coaches got really mad because their person lost, but it was a submission-only tournament. So yes, that person, like, I think got a sweep and passed the guard or something, but they didn't have any submission attempts. And the person that won had submission attempts, right? So, but the coach was mad. It's like, know the rules, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting points for a sweep and a guard pass. Those aren't the rules.
Yeah. There you have it.
Yeah.
And now on to the rule of the week.
The rule of the week. This is somewhat newer, last couple years. Heel hooks and reaping.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know what reaping is, basically let's talk about it from, like, if you know what ashi or single leg X are, the leg goes from the back around the outside to the hip. So you don't want your foot to cross the center line, causing their knee to turn in. That's the easiest way to kind of describe it, I think. But you can only reap and you can only do heel hooks if you are a brown or black belt adult in no-gi. Very specific. Okay.
So not at Masters?
Not at Masters. And it's so funny because, like, I think some people are upset about that. And as a 45-year-old, I'm like, thank God.
Right? As a 53-year-old, thank God.
Right? I'm like, I wouldn't have done adult anyway. They're 10-minute matches. For black belt adult, 10 minutes. No, thank you. But this just feels like another great reason why I have no desire to do adult in IBJJF.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not really afraid of reaping. I think reaping is whatever rule. But I don't want to be defending heel hooks. I think, I mean, not that I don't know how, not that, I don't think they're legit, whatever, but I do think they're low-hanging fruit a lot of times. And I have to teach 1 million classes a week, and I don't want to blow my knee out.
No.
I'm not a gym that has, 25 black belts that can replace me.
Right.
It's me. So
there you have it.
There you have it.
Any on and off the mat tips we want to just put in there for this week?
Well, I think both are just help build your competitors up, make them work hard. I'm in a place right now where I'm just making Risser fully murder me. I'm doing around under mount, under knee on belly, under side control, like without her even trying to tap me. Just stay there and squish me.
Oh, that hurts my heart.
Oh, it hurts my everything, particularly my ribs. But yeah, it's what I need right now. So, I think on and off the mat, helping give each other what you need to prepare you and build you up and make you feel prepared for the competition.
Off the mat, just go lift somebody up. Not physically off the ground. That might freak them out unless you're in the gym.
Yeah.
And totally
People are
expected.
weird, yeah.
But, the randoms on the street, maybe not.
Yeah.
But cheerfully, joyfully,
Build
say
people up.
something to build them up, because I feel like there's a lot of not building up happening in the world right now. So let's go out there and just be a little ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know I've probably said that for myself more so than anyone else.
Like, fine, I was talking to me.
I'm not a little ray of sunshine. I might have brought my troll rash
Rash
guard
guard today?
Yes.
Oh, feeling like a troll.
It's been,
I will be your ray of sunshine.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, a reminder, we have our Ask Us Anything episode coming up next. We've already got some really great and even funny questions.
Yeah,
for this.
we've got some
things
wild
that I'm
questions.
I'm going to have to put some thought into this.
Yeah.
So you can DM us. You can leave a comment on the Spotify version if you're watching or listening in Spotify, or on YouTube. Leave it in the comments, or you can DM us on Instagram at Beauty and the Gi Podcast, or I'm hanging out there at Brassy Broad Jen.
I'm AJ Klingerman, pretty much everywhere you go. If you want your question to be anonymous, please mention that. We won't say your name if you don't want us to, although I know some people love to hear their name. Amy Dillon. She was like, I just love it. She was at the Women's Invitational. So, but yes, so if you want to be anonymous, please let us know that. Also, if you are not registered for Women's Only Grappling Camp in July, please look into doing that. It is absolutely going to be our best year yet. We really set the industry standard for how women's camps are run. I know because I've been coaching some of the people that put on women's camps in how to do it. But this year, we're going to turn it on its head. We're gonna revolutionize how camp is run. So
Ooh, I'm excited.
I am too.
All right, friends, thanks for tuning in. We will see you on the mat. Beauty and the Gi is a production of the Brassy Broadcasting Company.
And brought to you by Role Model Grappling.
Yay.
Yay.